Hi everybody, my name is Anna Sogol and I am a senior currently enrolled at the University of Alabama pursuing my bachelor's in social work. So for those of you who may have missed the earlier videos in this series, I am a communications and policy intern at Shared Hope International, who is a Washington state-based anti-sex trafficking organization. So that is where I get to complete my field placement this semester. And it's been a really wonderful experience so far. I'm really, really glad to be sharing this with you guys as we're moving forward. So we talked a lot last week about the Just Live conference, which actually does start tomorrow. Our first round of presentations are going to be happening tomorrow at Shared Hope. So I'm really, really excited to see how that plays out and get to share some of that with you guys next week. But what I want to talk about this week is this project called the Protected Innocence Challenge Project. And Shared Hope actually has been publishing this Protected Innocence Challenge Report every year since 2011. So I'm going to share some information with you guys about this and kind of explain to you how it relates to all of the other topics that we've been talking about in this series so far. So what the Protected Innocence Challenge Report is, it's a report that comes out every year that assigns letter grades from A to F to states, and these grades are assigned based on an annual review of the laws that are related to the commercial sexual exploitation of children in that state. So essentially, the stronger that your laws are in a particular state in that area, the higher grade that you're more likely to receive from Shared Hope. So like I said, our first report did come out in 2011, so that was almost 10 years ago, and we've seen a lot of really good progress in that time. So I want to share with you guys some of the progress that's been made, and also highlight the reasons why the fight has to continue, and why we're updating the framework this year, and how that's going to affect the future Protected Innocence Challenge reports. So after 10 years, actually there have been 49 states and Washington, D.C. Who have seen improvements in their letter grades since that initial report in 2011. So that's almost every single state. We see specific improvements in the strength of their laws regarding child sex trafficking. So that's really exciting and definitely something to celebrate. And actually, the only two states that haven't raised their letter grades are Illinois and Missouri. And both of those states did start with a letter grade of B when that initial report in 2011 came out. So there's definitely still progress to be made across the board. But a lot of really good things have happened over the last 10 years in this area. So there's actually 30 states and Washington, D.C. that all do currently prohibit the criminalization of child sex trafficking victims for prostitution. So that is a super exciting number, 30 states plus Washington, D.C. However, that is one of the major gaps that still remain in our system. So there are still child victims who are facing criminalization, and a lack of access to justice and to the services that are necessary for them to have a full recovery when they are rescued from the life. And so we talked in some earlier videos about this idea of victim-offender intersectionality. And this is exactly what we're talking about when we have those conversations. We're talking about these child victims who, in whatever way, may have allegedly engaged in conduct that violates the federal definition of trafficking, which essentially means that they've carried out some action, and there's a really wide range of conduct that this could include. So it could be any part in the recruitment process, in transportation, in advertising or harboring other victims, and even in playing a role in trafficking other victims oneself when one is being trafficking. So we're talking about all of these ideas when we talk about victim-offender intersectionality and why it's so important to protect these individuals and not allow them to continue facing these criminal charges for actions that were beyond their control at the time being. So I say all of this just to say that we have made a lot of really fantastic progress that deserves to be celebrated and deserves to be recognized. But we still have a really long way to go. And that is why instead of this year releasing a 2020 Protected Innocence Challenge Report, Shared Hope is instead releasing a new advanced legislative framework by which they're going to be grading states in the future, starting in 2021. So what that means is that we are going to have an updated framework by which we're assigning these grades. So we expect states to have made a certain amount of progress by now. And as over the last 10 years, the research that's been done in the field of sex trafficking has really shed a lot of light on areas that we're hoping to improve on in this new advanced legislative framework. And we're hoping that states will follow suit and continue strengthening their laws and continue providing better access to justice and services for these victims of trafficking. So I'm so excited to get to have a role in this and to get to play a part in the conference. Starting tomorrow, I will get to meet the panelists. I'll get to play a role on the technical side, controlling their presentations, talking about all of these issues, and a whole lot more. So I'm really looking forward to the start of the conference, and I'm really excited to get to share that with you guys in some later videos. So thank you guys so much for listening today, and I will see you guys next time.